So I got a new lens for the camera. It's a CPL filter. Apparently it helps with glare when you're filming fish tanks, so you won't see as much reflection. And I will film today's video. It's cute. It's a little filter here. So let's try it. Well, you can't tell from here because I'm not really reflective. Let me turn on the fish lights and get this video rolling. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Booze Doos. In today's episode I want to show you guys my adult pea puffer breeding tank. So it's gonna be a part 1 in the series, so please click like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the other episodes. So in today's episode, I'll show you how I prepare the pea puffers and their tank for breeding and the key care steps that you will need to think about before even raising the babies. So this is my tank. So choosing healthy adults. I have currently 6 adults, but in a perfect world, you would try to have more female to the male ratio. But in here, I have 2 females and 4 males. And I get about like 40 eggs on a good day and about 10 on a slow day. So rule of thumb, just make sure that you have a mix. Now, how can you tell the difference between the males and the females? So this is the female. You can see that it's got a more rounder belly. And at the bottom here is the male. He's a bit more straight underneath the belly. The colors you can see in comparison, the male at the bottom, it's got a little bit more yellow tinge to it, whereas the female has a bit more of an opaque white color. Yeah, you can see it there. She's a bit more pale white belly, whereas he's got more yellow fins, and at the bottom of his stomach, he's got more yellow. So if you can't tell the difference, it probably means that they're not ready to breed yet. You'll either need to fatten them up so that their colors will show, or they're probably still too young to sex to tell the difference. If that's the case, still get 6. And when they're young, they have the ability to change sexes anyway, so don't stress about it. When they get bigger, you'll be able to tell the difference in the colors. So my tank setup is pretty basic. It's bare bottom, so it's easier to clean and see. The sponge filter that I have is a DIY Hamburg Matten filter, but any sponge filter will do. Just think of a gentle filter with a low current, that's what they would like. And then a piece of wood and some plants to break up any aggression they may have. So feeding to condition the puffers. People have said that their puffers can eat frozen food, but for me, nope. Don't even think about dry food. So live food is the way to go. They're like little hunters. Anything wriggling, jolting, moving around will catch their attention, so that's what they would like to eat. I like to give them a mix of live food. Their main staple is blackworms. Then occasionally I would mix in between the feedings some brine shrimp and some daphnia. Then sometimes I will give them scuds and snails. Then just watch them and see how they react to the food. Some days they can be moody and not eat the blackworms, so I'll put in more daphnia for that day, like today. So it's always good to have a mix of live food on tap. How many times I feed them? I really don't have a schedule, but I will feed them when I wake up in the morning. If I'm going to work, I will do it when I come back, and then I will again before I go to bed. On my days off, I'll probably feed them a couple more times during the day if I'm home. And I don't really target feed. I just chuck in the food and just watch them chase it around. You can see they're not very picking at the food in this video. It's probably because they're just so fat and they're not really hungry. Water parameters and maintenance. So I have a heater. Anything between 24 to 27 degrees is fine. I have them at 25 degrees. pH I don't really pay attention to, but I have tested it and it's around 7. The water that I use comes from my tap outside that I have connected to a filter. It's a carbon block filter that removes most of the chlorine. Then at the end I'll put in some prime depending on how much of a water change that I do. It's important to have stable clean water, and I'll do a water change every 3 to 4 days. making sure I suck up any of the malm and the dirt that's on the other side of the sponge. If I clean the bottom of the other side, I'm kind of scared it might suck up a baby, which I've accidentally done before. So the signs that the puffers are ready to breed, you will see that the female bellies should look bulbous and fat. The male colors are more brighter, their spots have a more blue shimmer inside them. The males are following the females around and they're chasing the males away, which is a good sign that they are ready to breed. Some mistakes to avoid before breeding. Don't overstock the tank with too many puffers or adding more puffers or any different tank mates. Shrimp are okay because it will take more time for them to get comfortable and ready for breeding, and that will lead to aggression and no time for a fun time. Next one would be enough foliage or plants for the puffers to feel safe and not so territorial, so heaps of plants for them to hide and swim around in. Next one is don't underfeed them, as they probably won't have the nutrients or the stamina to want to breed. And with feeding them so frequently, you'll need to keep your water in check for the perfect environment. Who wants to breed in a dirty tank, right?
So now that you've decided that the pea puffers are ready to breed, set up breeding trap. I have my trap here.
How it works is the pea puffers will scatter their eggs into the plants and the spawning mob. They'll fall into the trap down the bottom, and a gentle suction from the pump will pull some of the eggs up into my hang-on there. The eggs end up in the breeder box, which are separated from the adult pea puffers from eating them. And then the eggs stay in the box with clean oxygenated water flowing through. The parents can't reach them. And this is where I decide that I remove the eggs and put them to the next place. That's part 2. So thanks everybody for coming and watching part 1 of the tutorial. Part 2 will be about hatching the eggs and how to grow them out to become the pea puffers. Bye everyone.